What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
My name is Jeff.
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants, named Cowell. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it.
But why was Cowell inside?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lyney is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
True.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
Very true. Very true. Who can also be the most
Sorry,
reliable?
I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Perhaps. Perhaps. The investigation from the guards indicates that the fireworks launched at the tail end of the magic performance set the rope dangling the water tank alight, causing the tank to fall and kill Cowell, who was within it. It seems evident that Lyney is the likeliest user of the prop to commit a crime. However, the reason for the victim being Cowell and the reason for the chosen lady's disappearance remain mysteries. The deceased identity. The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants, named Cowell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up and inspecting the props as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. So what I have to do now, I guess, is go around and gather evidence to see what the hell happened. So perception mode. Okay. Maurice.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Could you tell us who she is?
It's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her, and we have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Well, thanks for letting us know all of this.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us.
Something tells me that's going to be a while.
It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Information about the missing lady's identity. Halsey is the missing person. She's a famous painter and came to watch the magic show in order to take a break from her own creative work. She isn't known to have been entangled in quarrels with any of the members of Lyney's magic troupe. Alright, so we got him. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, what about over here? Okay, you're somebody. Only on the stage. Something tells me there's something up there. I got a feeling there's something going on up there, but I'll get over there in a minute. Okay. Examine white line. This is where the magic box was struck. If Cowell weren't inside the box at that moment, he might have dodged the falling water tank, but he was in the box for a very inexplicable reason. How did he get in the box? It wasn't Lyney's doing, but Lyney had everything figured out, and yet he somehow ended up in the box. That's wild to think about. Examine damaged magic box. The broken magic box was left on the scene after the guards completed their investigation. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. So the water tank was up here, right? And they're saying that the pyrotechnics burned the ropes, which dropped the water tank.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
We have been traveling and hungry for months, and you had savings this whole time? And you bought glasses with it? And not some toothpaste? So either Lyney didn't realize this was a safety concern, or...
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
I'm just looking at where the rope snapped. So I think this was done
Look!
on purpose.
This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Seems to be flammable, like a type of flash cotton. So whoever put this up knew what was going on.
Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means...
The culprit
Wait, Paimon should write all
put
this
the
down.
rope up,
Let's take notes.
or made the rope and gave it to the person. Special rope. This rope was used to suspend the water tank. It suddenly broke when the fireworks were being launched on stage. This investigation has shown that the location where the rope snapped was made of flammable material. So the rope was given to someone by the culprit, or the culprit put the rope up. Okay, Esmond.
Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're both after the truth.
Thank you very much for the information. What button was... Okay, let's
Whoever
put
the
that.
murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so...
This rope?
I don't know what you said, Paimon, but thank you so much. Yes.
Why would it be him? How strange.
I think he was just there. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He just happened to be conveniently located. That is my thought.
Gosh, no wonder the serial disappearances never got solved.
Let's have a chat with Quentin.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lyney and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lyney used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Lyney knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
But
That
also,
much checks
someone
out.
else knew
Lyney
who was
reserved
going to be
our
sitting there.
seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lyney.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Lyney's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Random number selected. This device was used during Lyney's magic performance to choose a lucky member of the audience. However, the guards have found that it will generate the exact same number no matter what. Clearly, someone has tampered with it. And I don't think it was Lyney. I do not think Lyney... I think Lyney might have known who was going to be sitting there. But it didn't matter to him. He didn't care. Let's go. Alright, let's check this out then. Right. The magic box. It looks like an ordinary box, but Lyney somehow moved instantly from the stage to being inside of it. How did he do it? I am actually really curious about that. How did he do that? Okay. Alright, Molly.
Lyney's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Elseldor.
I see that you're investigating the area.
I am.
Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, alright?
Who are you?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh,
There was a thud
you mean
sound.
the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lyney's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
Paimon, I cannot take you seriously right now. I just can't. I am so sorry, Paimon. You need to... You had savings, Paimon.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lyney's accomplice, Lynette perhaps, jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Then wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
This was a
That does remind Paimon, though.
plan.
What was with that sound?
Strange sound during the magic show. During this switching performance, there was an audible thump that many audience members heard.
Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That, combined with this number selector, could allow you to pick a young lady instead of some old fogey. We all heard that noise, didn't we?
We did. We did hear it. But why? Why did we hear it? That noise is the most important. There's more out here. Okay.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Excuse me?
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the moor about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
No.
From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
Hello,
I'm
lady.
Silver, attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Okay.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
Paimon glasses.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So, you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Lyney an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
She's a woman after my own heart. Okay.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Lyney without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
I mean, she's grandiose. She has a stage presence. She has to do the most at all times. The only fault she has is doing too much. She does too much. Well, when you put it like that...
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Sure.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No. No, I do not.
Well?
Not always. Unless it's like... Unless all parties are okay with it, and it's a very minuscule, meaningless, thing. Something that doesn't matter that much, you know? Something that you can treat with the same flair as a Broadway show, you know? Like, not with people's lives. Like, this, it's insane. Not always.
And why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment. There you go.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I, too, think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter
This voice
how
actor
wonderful
is
the
very
script
good.
Or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. That if
They
that
must
can
be
done,
based.
boss, then
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors.
Thank
Now,
you.
I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become
I call the shots here, lady.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
What kind of companion? What kind of companion? I am so sorry.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point, Paimon. Seems you've already agreed then.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth.
Is this Sung-Wan Cho doing the
You
voice
wish
here?
to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
Okay.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
My name is Jeff.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
And I guess that was enough.
We'll
Guess
be
that's
making
your
some
name's Jeff, alright?
preparations
That's
first.
fine.
Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lyney's tricks. Thanks!
What else? You. Tristane.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave,
Quite aware.
you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Lyney and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes.
No.
After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I
feel like
couldn't
there's
see
a
Lyney's
door.
performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave.
Something, I feel like there was a door that opened up and someone fell through it. Something like that, right? Maybe like that bang sound was someone, maybe the door was opening or someone landing, something like that. So they didn't go through the front, they went below. That's my thought.
We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here.
No.
Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info.
Entrances and exits to the Opera House. No one left the Opera House during the magic show, and after the incident happened, only those who had their identities cleared by the guards could leave.
We've checked everything of note here in the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lyney's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
So there's nothing up here, huh? Alright. If you say so.
Speaking of that, I think magic shows would be very popular in Poisson.
Poisson.
I can
Fish?
see that.
In fish?
Maybe
In
I should
fish?
try to learn some magic. If I could make things disappear, cleaning my room would be a cinch.
You need not worry about such things, demoiselle. That falls under my duties.
Okay, Grandpa.
Right.
Fish? Is that a place? A fish? Poisson? Poisson means fish in French. That's what that means. Okay, fish. So they live in a fish. You know what? That's normal. That's fine. It's completely normal. Don't even worry about it. It's fine.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Below stage? So there is a below stage.
Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared
I knew it.
specifically for this switcheroo trick.
I knew it.
But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
It's the second door.
Very
or the
good
second
indeed.
back.
I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you
She's got
put two and
flashbang.
two together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Another box, but not... Okay. This is actually a little deeper than
So
I
there was
thought.
a passageway under the magic box!
That's what I'm saying. And this passage linked the two boxes together. See? See? I was right. I was right. Just call Master Corvid. Sorry.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The two magic boxes are positioned right above the two entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
So what happened
This
down
trolley
here?
can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
That loud bang sound happened down
that's
here.
the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
You think that'd
Once
make a
the
lot
box
of
was
sound.
lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect.
But we
My
saw you,
assistant
though.
and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
That was the assistant. The assistant came out. That's why the assistant was in the box. That wasn't actually Lyney. That was the assistant dressed up like Lyney to make the audience think that Lyney was still in the box, but he'd already been on the other side. And there was a phonograph that the assistant was mouthing the same words to. Okay, I get it.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Lyney's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
Oh, okay, was her.
I mean,
Was
we
her.
are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes, and no one can tell
Yes,
who's who.
that makes more sense. That makes much
And
more sense.
that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. and then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
And I think that she vanished down here. I think it was down here. There's something down here. Like another passageway that nobody knows about. And she was abducted down here while being transported over. That's what I think.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Just call Master Corvidien. It's like a tick now. It's just become a tick. The magic trick. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a box, the idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lyney himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Meanwhile, having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of would take charge of on-stage interactions. I see. On-stage magic box structure. The magic box on stage has an additional layer to its rear, in which Lynette, in Lyney's clothes, remained hidden. She would appear at the end of the magic trick and lead people to believe that Lyney had been able to instantly move to the box on the other side. Audience side magic box structure. The magic box at the center of the audience stands has 2 layers, and beneath it is an entrance to an underground tunnel. This was how the lucky audience member was meant to have been transported without the audience noticing. So somewhere around here, there's an entrance. There's another passageway. What is this? This opens the thing. This should be the control device for the trolley. It seems to be able to operate, excuse me, automatically. Okay. Okay. That's something right there. Okay. Let me look at other stuff first. Examine the ladder. A ladder is required in order to return to the magic box above. Yes, it is. Back to you in a second. Oh.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Maybe it was for a trick?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
No.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Broken fire vase. There are many pieces of a broken fire vase on one side of the tunnel. All the water within has been spilled. Judging from the distance, it seems unlikely that it was knocked over by the trolley meant to transport the magic box. There was some kind of struggle here. There was like a struggle, right? There's more happening. So she came down. She was moving, right? Let me look here. Let me look here for a second.
Huh. What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Lyney didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
No.
But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Dropped hook rope. A rope that has fallen to the ground. A metal hook has been tied to one end of this rope. Its use is unclear. I think that this was used in part of the escape. That's what I think.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
She's naked? What? This is really creepy. This is really creepy. Lyney didn't mention the guest having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
There's something this is really strange.
Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
It's hard work, Paimon. It's hard work. The young lady's clothes. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. This is so creepy. What the fuck? Okay. So we got clothing here. Another way to spin this is that Halsey knew what was going to happen the whole time. And that the people disappearing aren't disappearing because they were abducted, but because they were part of something. And that Halsey knew what was happening, and she needed to strip and change her clothing into something else while she was down here. Examine tracks. Okay, here we go. High precision is required to complete this magic show, and tracks are perfect for making the trolley stay on its designated course. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. The trolley is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must have used this to execute their plan. At some point, sure, but I think that around here, the thud happened. And it all went south. I have hair in my mouth. The final investigation point right here. This is the most important thing right here.
What is this place?
Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Yes.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes, and Lyney and Lynette were in the 2 magic boxes.
Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down.
The tunnel vent looks like it could allow one person passage, barely, but leaving along with the missing lady seems an unrealistic prospect.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnel's become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lyney and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
We're camping?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
My name is Jeff.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point! That said, are they providing food?
Of course.
Paimon.
I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be picky.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
True.
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
True. Paimon, look, Corvid Traveler, look, don't, she's right. She's right. We should have tea and sweets right now. That's important. It's really important, actually. Why would you not?
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
It's difficult, though, isn't it? It's very difficult.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
What?
Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
That has to be Sungwon Cho, right? That's definitely Sungwon Cho.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs,
Sure.
sugar, and almonds at the ready.
My name is Jeff.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina di Rosul. Yep. That'd be a methodical. He has degrees and pulls a fresh.
And Paimon thought it smelled
Never
good
fast
while
enough.
it was
Never
still in
fast
the
enough.
oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate
loves
beating
making
egg whites,
snacks.
by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is
Maybe.
ready to be served as
People
well.
people are
This is
people
Demoiselle's
function
favorite,
differently.
strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Black tea is delicious. It is very good. Highly suggested. Everyone should try black tea. Thank you. Why don't you take a break as well?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Are these like her
All right then.
butlers?
Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Lyney and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction.
But
Perhaps
where
the
was
criminal
she
thought
taken?
that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists. Well, there is definitely only one person who could get in and out of that vent. I don't know. Again, I have that theory where it could have just been Halsey. It could have just been her doing this by herself.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
Wasn't about Cowl. Cowl's completely he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was not about Cowl. It was about something else. Something else entirely that has to do with the missing people. The missing girls. But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any
There
motive.
might be a second
The guard
accomplice.
said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp.
God, I could use some macarons. Oh, that sounds delicious right now.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
That's too many. Too many, Paimon.
Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Paimon.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
You stole this old man's
Being greedy is
friggin'
one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides,
How dare you,
Paimon
Paimon.
knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them. Oh, it's fine. Everyone knows how much you love eating. It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them. It's in the past. It happened.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you?
So hold on.
Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
Now hold on. Nobody ate the extra macarons. So who ate the other macarons? Do we have an invisible person? Do we have an invisible person here with us right now? Calling the spirit of Cowl? Are you here with us?
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set
I don't
up
know
the
about
stove
this.
again if you would.
I don't know about this.
What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that. There is though. There is though. There is though. I think somebody's hungry.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Navia does a second round of baking over the two. However, the discussion that follows does not yield much progress.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Probability of third person being involved. Neither Cowell nor Halsey had a motive, but after having talked to Navia, the likelihood of a third person being involved seems very low too.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Okay, so we're waiting until the following day. Thank you very much for watching. There's more Genshin Impact coming soon. We have lots of mysteries to uncover. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the bell so you know when I'm uploading next. Until next time, and as always, just call Master Corvidien. Have a good one, guys.